This is not the kind of prefab you unlock, place once, and forget about. Mos Eisley Manor instantly makes me want to build an entire Star Wars settlement around it. Hey everyone, welcome to Hanna Pixelfarm. And today we are building Mos Eisley Manor in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, one of the new Star Wars guided builds connected to Din Djarin and Grogu. The reason I am so excited about this one is simple. Some prefabs are just useful. This one feels like a starting point. It gives you a reason to make paths, add vehicles, build a market, connect other Star Wars structures, and turn a plain area into an actual place. But first, let me explain how you can get Mos Eisley Manor, because this is tied to the current Mandalorian and Grogu event. You need to have a village that you built yourself, with a village square placed in your world. If you are running around and wondering why Din Djarin and Grogu are not appearing, that is the first thing I would check. Once your player-built village exists, Din Djarin and Grogu can show up at one of your villages on the mainland or on Star Wars Island. When you find them, talk to them and start working through their journal quests. The whole thing is framed like a little vacation for Mando and Grogu, which is honestly kind of perfect, because Grogu on vacation sounds adorable and slightly chaotic. The quests can ask you to do small world tasks, like catching fish for Grogu, collecting resources, petting banthas, gathering heavy wool, mining copper ore, or completing other journal entries as they unlock. After completing these tasks, you can earn Din Djarin's build tomes. When you read those tomes, they unlock Star Wars guided builds and vehicle blueprints. That reading part is easy to miss, so do not just finish the quest and walk away. Check your inventory, read the build tome yourself, and then look through your guided builds. Mos Eisley Manor is one of the rewards you can unlock through this event. And this is where I want to be a little careful. Some players have been talking about the tomes being confusing or even buggy, especially when playing with friends. So if you complete a quest and the build does not show up right away, check the basics before panicking. Make sure the village square is placed. Make sure the journal entry is actually finished. Make sure you personally read the tome. And if you are in multiplayer, pay attention to who picked it up and who used it. If you already unlocked Mos Eisley Manor without any problems, tell me in the comments, because I really want to know how smooth this event has been for everyone. And if it gave you trouble, I want to know that too, because it sounds like different players are having very different experiences. Now, the unlock is only the first part. The interesting part is what this manor does once it is actually placed in the world. Mos Eisley Manor has that warm desert Star Wars feeling that fits LEGO Fortnite surprisingly well. It feels dusty, cozy, and a little important, like it belongs in the center of a settlement instead of sitting off to the side as random decoration. The moment you build something like this, the area around it starts asking for more detail. That is what I like about a strong prefab. It should not feel like the end of a build. It should make you think about what comes next. A path in front of it, a speeder nearby, a small market area, maybe a garage close by, maybe another building across the road. Suddenly, one structure starts turning into a whole little town. And honestly, I want to give the developers credit here. LEGO Fortnite has been moving in a much more interesting direction lately. We are getting events that do more than just add one reward and disappear. This one brings in characters, quests, guided builds, vehicles, creatures, and reasons to actually move around the world again. That matters for a game like this. Builders do not only need more pieces, we need reasons to care about where those pieces go. Mos Eisley Manor gives me that reason almost immediately. If I were placing this in a long-term world, I would not hide it somewhere random. I would build around it. I would let it become the anchor for a desert village, or maybe the first building in a Star Wars district. It has enough presence to lead an area, but it does not feel so huge that everything else has to fight against it. That balance is important. Some large prefabs look great by themselves, but they are hard to connect to anything else. This one feels easier to work with. It can be the main house, a village leader's home, a trading manor, a guest house, or just the fancy building that makes the whole settlement feel more established. Drop a comment and tell me what role you would give it. Would this be your main base? Would it be a villager home? Would you make it the center of a Mos Eisley-style town? Or would you build it alone in the desert, like a quiet retreat for someone who does not want too many visitors? For me, I think the best use is as a centerpiece. Not because it has to be the biggest thing in the world, but because it gives the area a purpose before we even start decorating around it. That is also why I like the name Mos Eisley Manor. Mos Eisley immediately gives you that Star Wars desert settlement idea, and Manor makes it sound a little more comfortable, like this is not just a survival shelter. It feels like somebody important might live here. Maybe a trader, maybe a village founder, maybe a retired pilot who finally decided to stop running cargo and build something permanent, or maybe Grogu just picked it because it looked cozy. Honestly, that might be the most believable answer. This is the kind of small story I love adding to builds. The game gives us the structure, but we decide what it means in our world. A guided build can be simple if you want it to be simple, or it can become the start of a much bigger idea if you give it a little context. And that is one reason guided builds work so well in LEGO Fortnite. Not everyone wants to design everything from zero every single time. Sometimes you want to follow a blueprint, relax, and enjoy watching a building come together. Then after that, you can customize the area around it and make it feel personal. That is usually how I like to use prefabs. I let the game give me the main structure. Then I decide how the space should work. Where does the path go? Where would someone park a vehicle? Where would villagers walk? Where should the lights be? What does this building connect to? Those questions matter more than they look, because a build can be beautiful and still feel disconnected if the area around it is empty. Mos Eisley Manor gives us a strong start, but the real fun is going to be making it feel like it belongs here. This is also why I think the Star Wars content works so well in LEGO Fortnite. The style is recognizable right away, but it still has that playful LEGO feeling. It is not trying to be too serious. It gives us sandy, warm, sci-fi energy, but it still feels cozy enough to live in. And that is a sweet spot for this game. LEGO Fortnite is at its best when survival, building, and imagination all meet in the same place. You gather materials, complete quests, unlock something new, build it, and then suddenly your world has a new direction. Mos Eisley Manor fits that loop perfectly. The event sends you out to help Din Djarin and Grogu, the tomes give you the reward, and then the reward gives you a reason to keep building after the quest is done. That is good event design. A temporary quest can be fun for a few minutes, but a good building reward stays in your world. You can walk past it later and remember when you unlocked it. It becomes part of the history of that save. I really hope the developers keep going in this direction. More themed events, more guided builds, more vehicles, more decorations, and more reasons to build actual places would be amazing. Not every update has to be huge, but it should give players something they can use creatively. And to be fair, this update does that. Din Djarin and Grogu are fun to see in the world. The vacation task idea is cute. The rewards actually matter for builders. And the Star Wars structures are the kind of thing you can build around instead of just collecting and forgetting. That does not mean everything is perfect. Quest tracking can still be confusing. Unlocks can be weird in multiplayer. Some players have reported issues with tomes. And I would always love better ways to organize guided builds, especially as more and more get added. But when the core idea works, I think it is worth saying that it works. This is one of those updates where I can feel LEGO Fortnite growing into a stronger creative survival game. Now, as we start putting the manor together, I want to think about the area around it from the beginning. If you build this in the middle of nowhere with no plan, it will still look nice. But if you give it even a little bit of context, it can look way better. A simple path can do a lot. It tells the viewer where people would walk. A small open area near the front can make the building feel like part of a town. A few lights can make it feel safer at night. A speeder parked nearby can make the Star Wars theme feel more active. This is the detail I would not skip. The build needs a reason for the space around it to exist. If I were expanding this after the video, I would probably start with a road. Not a huge road, just something that makes the manor feel connected. Then I would add a small market on one side and maybe a vehicle area on the other. That way, the building feels like it belongs between village life and travel. That is a nice role for it. It is not just a house. It becomes the place people pass by, meet near, and build around. Let me know if you want to see a full Star Wars Village series on Hanna Pixelfarm, because this build makes me want to do more than one video. I can already imagine a Mos Eisley-inspired area with the manor, a speeder garage, small homes, dusty paths, and little work zones around the village. That would be such a fun direction for the channel. A cozy galactic settlement, one build at a time. And I think that kind of project would show the best side of LEGO Fortnite. The game is not only about surviving, it is also about slowly turning empty land into a place that feels like yours. That is why I keep coming back to these builds. I like seeing a world become more personal every time we add something new. Mos Eisley Manor is especially good for that because it gives a clear theme right away. You do not have to guess what mood it wants. It already feels like sun, sand, travel, and a little bit of Star Wars mystery. Once the main structure is up, the rest of the area almost starts designing itself. That is when a build is doing its job. It gives you ideas before you force them. If you are building along with me, I would keep an eye on the scale as the structure rises. A manor like this needs space around it. If it is too close to other buildings, it might lose that important feeling. But if it is too isolated, it can feel disconnected. So I would give it enough breathing room for a front path, a side detail, and maybe one future build nearby. That is one of the biggest mistakes I make when I get excited. I place something too close to everything else, then later I wish I had more room for decorations. So with this one, I would rather leave extra space now and fill it in later. The side areas are going to matter more than they look. A lot of players decorate the front and forget everything else. But in LEGO Fortnite, you move around your builds all the time. If the side view feels empty, you will notice it every time you walk past. So after the main build is done, I would not only focus on the entrance, I would check it from different angles. Where does it look flat? Where could a small object help? Where would a lamp make sense? Where could a path turn naturally? That is how I like to decorate without overdoing it. I do not want to cover every inch. I want to place details where they actually help the build. And that is another reason this manor is a strong reward. It gives you enough shape and style that you do not need to bury it under decoration. You can let the structure lead, then add smaller pieces around it to support the mood. If you have other Star Wars rewards unlocked, this is where they can start connecting. A speeder garage nearby would make a lot of sense. A vehicle path could lead away from the manor. You could even make a little stop where villagers or players gather before heading out. That would make the area feel useful, not just pretty. And I know a lot of people play LEGO Fortnite in different ways. Some players want survival efficiency. Some want a beautiful world. Some want roleplay. Some want to collect every reward. Mos Eisley Manor works for several of those styles at once. If you are survival focused, it can become a base or village building. If you are more creative, it can become a centerpiece. If you like roleplay, it can become a home with a story. If you are collecting event rewards, it is a strong piece to keep for later. That flexibility is what makes a prefab worth unlocking. I also like that the event asks you to do a mix of tasks instead of only one thing. Catching fish for Grogu is funny. Petting Banthus feels very on-brand for a vacation quest. Gathering resources gives you a reason to explore. It makes the unlock feel like part of the world instead of a menu reward. Of course, if you are in a hurry, I understand wanting to unlock it fast. But I do think the little quest journey makes the manor feel more earned. When we place it, it has a bit of memory attached to it. That is something games like this need. Not every reward has to be difficult, but it should feel connected to what you are doing. If you are watching this and still trying to unlock it, my best advice is to stay organized. Check your journal. Finish the available Din Djarin and Grogu entries. Look for them at a village square you built. Read every build tome you earn. And do not assume the build unlocked until you actually see it in the guided build list. Thank you so much for watching and building with me today on Hanna Pixelfarm. If you enjoyed this Mos Eisley Manor build, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps, and it lets me keep making more LEGO Fortnite builds, event reward videos, and cozy world ideas. Before you go, tell me in the comments if you already unlocked Mos Eisley Manor, where you are going to place it, and what Star Wars build you want me to make next. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next Hanna Pixelfarm build.